Hi, I'm Markus Pattern. I love Nick Cave. Heart, soul, mind, and body. I figured I might as well talk to you about that adoration instead of playing some random music I find in the YouTube audio library. Seems a bit more appropriate to tell you why I find him so interesting and why he has a deep place in my soul, rather than not playing Nick Cave music over a Nick Cave over a Nick Cave Speedpaint. But first, professional time. I figured I should do some house cleaning. So, um, thank you for turning up. I release these videos like every Wednesday or so. I live stream every Thursday at about 10 for about 2 hours, 10 p.m. GMT time for 2 hours. If you could click like and subscribe, that'd be great because I've kind of got this janky URL that I need to change. Um, if you like this stuff and you want to support me, there's a Gumroad. There is. If you like what you see and you want to support me, I've got a Patreon, I've got a Ko-fi, saying my commissions are open. I sell comics via my Etsy, which is linked down below. I no longer sell via Gumroad because Gumroad wanted too much of my own personal information to make it worth my while selling on Gumroad. So yes, all that is linked down in the below. That's the call to action bit. Secondly, I was recently on the podcast Comics for the Apocalypse with Samuel George, and it was a fun time. That'll be linked down below. And about 2 weeks ago, I was on Keeping It Geekly podcast, in which we basically do a director's commentary on my book, 13 Shots of Whiskey, issue 1, The Three Deaths of Willis Waterhouse, in which I explain why I did what I did and how I did what it is, and I think it's quite interesting. So yeah, all that is linked down below. Cool. And now on to why I love Nick Cave. So I'm not a I'm so now on to why I love Nick Cave. I'm not by birth a Londoner. I only feel it in the soles of my feet. I moved here when I was about 22, 21, I think. I moved down just by my lonesome. No one else came down on me. And I instantly loved the city. But it's a big city, and I felt like alone in it. Just, because I was living in this bedsit that was technically, legally classified as too small for human habitation. A thing I found out 6 months after I'd been living there, and about a month before I moved in with the lovely lady who would turn out to be my wife. Um, so I'm alone in this city. I go and spend, because why have savings if you can't blow it in the 6 weeks and stuff that you don't really need? So I go. So I'm off exploring London, the west part of London, and I find myself in. I think it might have been a. I think it might have been a shopping centre in Fulham, but I couldn't say for certain. Anyway, so I go there. There's a HMV because there always was back in those days, and I go in and I pick up volume. I think I pick up volume 5 of Johnny Cash, and I pick up Murder Ballads by Nick Cave, and then I go home, and I'm alone and I'm bored, and as I want to do, I put my newly purchased CD on the old CD player, and I put on Murder Ballads, and I don't know why, but like it just it's pitch black humor, macabre sense of storytelling just spoke to me in my dark little soul, and it put a smile on my face, and yeah, especially the lines for O'Malley's bar. Something about that, just like I bashed his head with a really big thing. It was a bigger than a big thing. That line just made me chuckle, even though it's janky as all hell. Just like all pretense of just trying to sing just dropped out and like so. That album helped me in a particularly low and gloomy point of my day, because like I was alone in this big city in this flat that was too small. The South African who fed me cheesy poofs and Tintin hadn't moved in by that point. I hadn't met my wife. I was working. I don't think I was even employed by this point. So like so it was a ray of sunshine and an otherwise kind of dark, gloomy, kind of boring, depressing kind of place. I think it might be a bit melodramatic to say that Nick Cave saved my life, because it is, but he certainly brought a lot of joy into it when I needed it the most. And then about that same time, I went to see The Proposition, which he wrote and scored in The View in Shepherd's Bush, which is just the nicest, loveliest cinema I think in the whole of London. So via Nick Cave, I discovered my favourite cinema, which is lovely. Um, Mercy Seat is one of my favourite tracks on the America series, and that series contains Hurt, Hung My Head, and Personal Jesus. I'm also a massive Johnny Cash fan. I wouldn't probably be the big PJ Harvey fan I am if it wasn't for Nick Cave. And that's probably a lot to do with Malika as well, but like he plays a part in that. I went to see Grinder Man at the Hammersmith with one of my bestest friends in the whole world, and that was a fucking hell of a show and pleasant company, pleasant time. And I'm pretty certain I've been drunk and me and that friend have sang Nick Cave at karaoke. Sang, well, he sang, I did whatever the fuck it is I do for vocals. Um, the work of the Bad Seeds is near and dear to my heart. When I watched Hell or High Water, after I drew the 3 Deaths of Willis Waterhouse, by the way, I didn't realise how close the it Willis's character design was to Chris Pine until after I published the book. So that's it's not plagiarism; it's cosmic. And I discovered that this film that I really enjoyed, thought was a hoot and a half, was scored by Nick Cave and Warner Ellis, which made me love the film even more. Basically, if a film is scored by these two cats, it's instantly one of my favorite movies of that. Certainly, I've discovered. Like, I've yet to see a movie where they've scored like, oh, that was boring. I've enjoyed them all. Um, yeah, and and has there ever been a song more hardcore than Stagger Lee? Yeah, so my adoration for Nick Cave is, yeah, I've read his books. I'm reading his graphic novel. Yeah, he's meant he's meant quite a lot to me throughout my time on this blue little ball covered by apes with ego trips. Yeah. So apropos of nothing, my top five Nick Cave songs, and there's an awful lot to choose from. So this list may change every now and again or all the time. So I'll link them down and below. So uh, number number five would be "Brother, My Cup Is Empty" from Henry's Dreams. I really like that one. Um, uh, Number two would be "Curse of Mill Haven" from Murder Ballads. Um, Number three would "Up Jump the Devil." Number four, as you can probably gather from the title of the drawing, is a Red Right Hand, which is just classic, even though I'm not a massive fan of the album it comes on. And number five would be Staggerly. I think that's the first song that I came across as was like, yes, this is fucking awesome. I mean, honorable mentions would be "Into My Arms" and "Honeybee to Mars," and well, like a whole list. Basically, there's a lot of Nick Cave songs I absolutely adore. So yeah, I love Nick Cave, heart and soul. Um, and I hope you dig this piece. I hope you don't find my voice too grating, and if you like me talking instead of playing random music, leave a comment in the below saying as such, or don't, whatever. Um, if you could like and subscribe, that would be fantastic. If you could like and subscribe, that would be marvelous. If you could like and subscribe, that would be the height of human bliss. Because essentially, I've got this janky URL and I need to change it. So I need 100 subscribers before I can change that. So yeah, that'd be nice. If you like what you see me drawing, commissions are open. I am a comic book artist. I have 3 comics out, 2 issues of 13 Shots of Whiskey, and 1 issue of the Gateway, which is available on my Etsy. And yeah, if you're in London, you can pick up 13 Shots of Whiskey from Gosh. If you're or I work at Jerry's Wines and Spirits on Fridays and Sundays, so you can always come pick it up for me in person there. Or if you're in Manchester, at the Traveling Man, which is great. If you could pick it up from there, that'd be swell. Yeah. Thank you for your time. Hope this has been interesting. I've been Markus Pattern. Have yourself a tip-top day.